Welcome to SLC Fanboys, three guys who love Star Wars, comic books, gaming, movies, and fangirls. Adam Thomas, self-appointed Starfleet captain and Cylon sympathizer. Andy Farnsworth, comic book Jedi and George Lucas apologist. Tysen Webb, Comic-Con moderator and amateur Sith. These are the SLC Fanboys.
SLC Fanboys, Andy Farnsworth, Tysen Webb, and we're joined once again by our guest contributor, Aaron Zundel. Welcome back, Aaron.
Thank you. Thanks, Tyson.
You're becoming a regular here, Aaron.
I am.
It's nice
I'm pleased to be here. Thank you.
And today we're excited because...
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
See, we have a lot of love here, you know, among us fanboys, but we're excited today because Universal Studios has come up with a brand new idea that they're going to pitch audiences and hope that it goes the same way as it has for Marvel and thanks to Wonder Woman, maybe now for DC. But that's the idea of a shared universe called the Dark Universe, and it's kicked off by The Mummy.
What the hell?
Recognize that music, Tyson?
Whatever's in there
Oh, yeah.
has been safely hidden for 2,000 years. This isn't a tomb. It's a prison. Nick! The hieroglyph said she was named Amenet, chosen to be Egypt's next queen. But her thirst for power led her down a darker path, one that had to be stopped.
Ooh. Then you get to this freaking awesome action scene that
Oh my gosh.
has been in all the trailers. But let's set the table then. So we've got a reboot of an already rebooted movie that was originally made in 1930.
Yeah.
But this time, Universal's going for a little bit more, less campy, a little less action-y, adventure-y than the 1999 Mummy with Brendan Fraser. What do you guys think? What do you guys think so far? First of all, that's the biggest change. I came in kind of with the expectation of a similar to Brendan Fraser kind of a thing. I left it with, okay, this is much more Tyson's sort of vein of movie than it was my sort of vein of movie.
This is a very, very serious. It takes itself very seriously, except in certain moments. I mean, it does have a sense of humor.
There's some comedy in there.
This
some
show
one-liners here and there.
This show is definitely out to work your nerves a lot more than Brendan Fraser ever aspired to.
Well, Brendan Fraser's was a comedy, really, for the most part. It was a family, kind of a fun movie. It was scary in some aspects, but really it was very campy and very much just to be enjoyed, you know, with some popcorn. This one, as you said, is more intense, which I liked a lot.
So let's
so did I.
Let's set the table then. We're not going to, just so you know, before we really get going, we're not going to give away anything that you didn't see in the trailer. We'll call these mild spoilers in case somehow you haven't seen the trailer, but I'm guessing most people have at least seen one trailer. You've seen Tom Cruise crash in a plane. Yeah. You've seen a sandstorm with the mummy's face in it, which, to be honest, I was looking for that the entire movie. Little surprised that it wasn't in it the same exact way. It was not in the there was a quick one, but not the way it was in the actual trailer.
That's true.
I was a little bit surprised by that. But let's go. So where should we start from there? So we've got, instead of Brendan Fraser, we've got Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I thought it was.
How did you feel about Tom Cruise, by the way?
You know, I felt like it was Tom Cruise.
See, that's the thing. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. He's either Maverick or he's Mission Impossible guy.
You know, and this was the Ethan Hunt, you know, Jack Reacher Tom Cruise.
Yes.
But without kind of the moral compass. I mean, they paint him in this show as more of a rogue.
Well, they
starts out
paint
that way.
Him.
Yeah, and it doesn't quite fit. It doesn't quite fit.
I mean, that's the first thing you see him. You see him and you hear him. You don't know it's him first, but you're like, oh, of course, that's Tom Cruise. And then he kind of explains what he's doing and why he's doing it, and you're like, huh, this guy's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. He doesn't even make a convincing jerk all that much.
No.
I thought he was a better jerk in Top Gun than he was in this.
Agreed. Agreed. You can tell that his ego doesn't quite let him own this role of the, you know, morally ambiguous kind of a rogue. The Tom Cruise of I want to be the hero is always shining.
He's just
very brightly, even when it
those
shouldn't be.
six-slits teeth, and you know that's about it.
Well, and one thing I will say for Tom Cruise, he's never been more buff than he was in this movie. The scene where he pops up out of the body bag.
Did you not see the volleyball scene in Top Gun?
He was not anywhere near this buff. He was chiseled, but not nowhere near this buff.
Huh?
What?
Wow. I'm excited for the Dark Universe. By the way, I'm just going to derail this conversation.
No, that's right.
Get off of Tom Cruise because I'm done with Tom Cruise.
That's fair.
The Dark Universe, I am super stoked for. If they could do anything close to what Marvel's is getting done, then I'm all for it. Now, it's going to be in a completely different vein, obviously. DC's had a hard time getting their superheroes and their
You could have called DC the
jump-started.
Dark Universe till these guys actually trademarked
Seriously, but I'm excited. See, I'm a fan of all of these original monsters like the Mummy, the Wolfman, Dracula,
And see, this is
and
where
the Creature from the Black Lagoon. All these cool like old time monsters from
Well, and this
20s,
is why
30s, 40s,
I thought
whatever.
your perspective,
Loved
as soon as we got going and I realized this wasn't action-adventure
Yeah.
Mummy, this is like, oh, they're actually going to do with monsters what you do with monsters, and that's try to scare people. And it actually kind of makes almost a tonal shift at the moment after the plane crash.
Yeah.
Like up until that point,
Yeah, sure.
you've got sort of the mission, a little bit of a Mission
That's when the
Impossible
Mummy really
feel.
comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, and I remember thinking specifically, if you watch the trailer, there's this scene where it looks like a graveyard, and I thought, oh, this is getting a little bit. This is getting a little bit darker. And yes, there are zombies. I didn't notice that when I watched the trailer.
Here's the thing, though. I wouldn't call this movie scary, and I'm hoping. In fact, that's one of my critiques, and maybe we'll get to that in a few minutes. But one of my critiques is pick a side because I think it could be a lot scarier. Josh, one of our producers, I totally 100% agree with him. He hasn't seen the movie yet, but he's like, what's the balance between PG-13 and R? If they're going to go full on and do this, maybe they should go into the R territory, not with the coarse language or anything like that, but let's get some really intense scares out of it. And if that causes it to be an R, then I'm okay with that.
And I think we'll talk about that a little later. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I like this new kind of dark tone. I mean, I know that Andy really liked the original Brendan Fraser Mummy. But, for me, if you're going to go for a dark universe, and I think we'll talk about this a little later as well, this show did make a very conscious effort to go much darker. And I liked that. I did like that. It made it an attempt to stay in the PG-13 realm by adding some humor. I do feel like that was the movie's probably biggest flaw, other than kind of a wishy-washy third act, was, it tried to be humorous, but it injected that humor into the wrong moments. It injected the mid-scene. Like mid-scare, they're like, oh, well, it's too scary, so we'll have a quick bit of humor. Most shows go scary, scary scene, humor scene,
or
scary
they're
scene,
ratcheting
humor.
up the tension, and they use a little bit of humor to deflate you just a little bit.
Yeah,
and then
they
can smack you with the heavy thing. But it really was jarring. That's a very good point, and it's interesting that all three of us sort of thought that independent of each other without having discussed it first. That you needed the humor, but it just felt like they put it in all the wrong places.
It was in all the wrong places.
Let's do this. Let's take a quick break and come back and talk more about this because I think we can go in depth on this.